Okay, so we are doing business forecasting, and this is you have been given the income statement and balance sheet for the years 2014, 15, and 16. And you have to prepare 4-year forecasted financials, and these are the pointers that are given to you, and these are the outputs, right? That's the case. So as a first step, I'll create a new sheet, which I will call as the forecasting model, where I'll just fit in everything that we are trying to build here. So I'll start with my input itself there. So I'm just going to copy and paste this data. So I'll copy this and put it on the model sheet as well. Uh, Here you go. And now this is your model sheet. So I will now start with the data here and the pointers. Since we have to prepare the forecasted financials for 2017, 18, 19, and 20. So the best way is to start here itself. So 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. And go point by point. If you go point by point, that's the best way to go ahead in such kind of a problem. So Steelco's revenues can be grouped into two product groups, the long products and the flat products. And the quantity for the forecast period is to be calculated by using a linear forecast on the historical rate of change. Linear forecast on the historical rate of change. Which means that I should first somewhere capture the historical rate of change, isn't it? So I'll capture it here. Maybe I put 2014, 15, and 16 here somewhere, right? And I capture the rate of change, which will be next year minus previous year divided by previous year as a percentage. So you will see that your long products, the change has been negative. Am I right? Yes or no? It has gone down by 15% in, let me reduce the size of this because these are still inputs. So it has gone down by 15% in 2015, another 11.76% in 2016. Now 17 to 20, what does the question say? Linear forecast on the historical rate of change. So how will you do that? You can do a trend function. So how will you do the trend function? Any idea how we are going to attempt that? How can you get the trend function here? Yes, Tharani Shiva. How are we going to do it? So it's very simple. I don't know if you're aware of the trend function. Trend is basically for linear forecasting. So what I will do, please note carefully what I am doing, is equal to trend, known y's and known x's. Known y's are what? The independent or the dependent variables, which is your growth rates, comma, known axis is your time period, comma, new axis is again this time period, and then bracket close, enter. The moment you do that, you will get the percentage changes for 2017, 18, 19, and 20 also. Did you get what I did? I'll repeat it once again. Maybe we should capture the inputs here. Look here, okay? Okay, now pay attention once again. Is equal to trend. No, see, when we are doing linear forecasting, what happens is the independent variable is time. So if you have a function x and y, x is your independent variable, y is your dependent variable. So x in this case for a trend function where we are doing linear forecasting, it's your independent variable is always the time, which is the year. The dependent variable would depend on what you are trying to forecast. So here, what will be the independent variable? Time. So known y's and known x's. So what is your dependent variable? What are we trying to forecast? The growth rates. So I pick these two growth rates. These become my known y's, dependent variables, comma. Known x's would be my independent variables, which are those years, comma. New axis is the period for which I want to forecast, which is 17 to 20. Bracket close, enter. The moment you do that, you will get the percentages also for 2017, 18, 19, and 20. You need to tell me if you are getting these percentages, yes or no. This I'm going to color in a separate format. Maybe you can't get different. Be very careful for if for non-MacBook users, so that means if you're using HP or Dell or whatever, you might not get this result. Like I didn't have to select. So you might have to select this and then use the trend function. Then you will get it. End may, rather than pressing enter, press Control Shift Enter. Then you will probably get the result. End may, मैंने क्या किया था? I pressed enter. You don't press enter, you press Control Shift Enter, then you might get the result. Just check, all of you, if you're getting it. The ones who are online, are you able to follow what I said? All of you? All of you, did you get what I did just now? I'm just sharing my screen once again. So please tell me if you have been able to reach until this point. वो control shift enter वाला काम किया ना? Brilliant. Now you have got the growth figures for 17, 18, 19 and 20. So you can get the volumes, metric ton volumes for 17, 18, 19, 20 also. So you take the 16 wala volume, 2016 volume into 1 plus 2017 wala growth, right? And then uske baad you don't need to do much, just drag. So automatically you will get all the numbers because it will get linked. For example, last me you will take exactly wahi ho raha. Or the cell references will also drag in that sequence. So this is what you should get: 137,206, 129,942, 127,267, and 128,764. Can you please check? Huh? No, I just took 2016. I have to start with 2016. No. So growth for 2017 is negative 8.53. So you take 2016's volume into 1 plus growth rate and just drag it. Same way we'll have to do for flat products also. Same thing. Yes or no? So again, we'll have to first find out this I think can be copied, copy and paste, isn't it? You can copy and paste, the growth aa jayega. So for example, this will be this number for metric tons. Again, here also you have to do the same thing. You can actually be smart and copy paste this also. For example, trend में सबसे पहले क्या है? P4 to Q4. Now this is a constant. This does not change. So I can freeze this. Remove what? Now look here. I have to be smart. I don't have to repeat the formulas, right? So मैं क्या करूंगा? ये जो P4 to Q4 first identify. Go to this formula which we used in the trend. I have to do it anyway. I can just copy paste the formula. I don't need to do it again and again. Now this row has to be a constant, no? This has to be a constant, P4 to Q4, because the time is the same. So I can just copy paste this, provided I freeze this number. How do I freeze? Press function F4. So $$ आ जाएगा. That is frozen. Now next is P3 to Q3. This can move. So I'm not changing this. Then K3 to N3. This also cannot move. So this also will be frozen. And now let's see, if I copy paste this number here, I should get the same result. P4 to Q4. Oh, no. I think I froze the wrong one. I'm sorry. My mistake. I froze the wrong one. P4 to Q4. Okay. This has to move. Sorry. This has to move. P3 to Q3 and K3 to N3. These are the two which will be frozen. So if I copy and paste it, now you will get the right result. Now please check if you got this. 19.05, 21.43, 23.81 and 26.19%. यहाँ पे again, I don't need to do much. I just copy and paste. Automatically you will get the numbers. You don't need to repeat. Just copy paste, because when you copy paste, the formulas will also get copied pasted. So please check if you're getting the same numbers. 40476, 31803, 24231 and 17885. Now, what is this line? What is this line? This is your total volume. This is the total volume, right? So यहाँ पे also I can take the total volume. How do I get the total volume? Long products plus flat products is going to give me my total volume. And I'll put it bold so that the total volume stands out. Yes or no? Please check. 17682, 161,745, 151,497 and 146,649. Okay. Now, what is given in the next point? So this point is done now. This point is done. So I'll just tick this point so that This is done or no? क्या no? हाँ, नहीं आ रहा है. You're not getting these results. Where are you getting stuck? Can I know? You're not getting these numbers. Just give me 1 second. Next point क्या है देखो, selling price for the forecast period is to be calculated as minimum of historical prices. So that means you have to do what here is equal to minimum of these prices, which is the minimum 650. So others will be the same. Clear? Similarly for, you can copy and paste this. So for both flat products and long products, I am getting 650 as the selling price. Am I right? So this point is also done. So जो हो गया उसको मैं टिक करता जा रहा हूं. Now we move to the point number 3, right? Point number 3 क्या बोलता है? What does it say? For the purpose of forecasting gross profit, average of historical GP margin will be used, which means I have to first calculate the gross profit margin for the previous 3 years. Gross profit margin is gross profit divided by sales revenue. So यहाँ पे I am going to take this here. Okay. So सबसे पहले आप क्या करो? Let's populate the sales. Now sales is very simple. Long products volume into the rupees per metric ton divided by 1000, because this is all in thousands. Am I right? Copy. Similarly, flat products metric tons into price per metric ton divided by 1000, because this is all in thousands. So this should be your sales volume for 2017, 18, 19 and 20. Please check. 89184, 84462, 82723 and 83697 for long products. Flat के लिए 26310, 20672, 15750 and 11625. So if you total it up, you will get the total sales revenue. So I'm going to total this up. I get the total sales revenue here. Clear? Then you can find out the gross margin. Gross margin, we just told you what we have to do. So let's take the gross margin for the previous 3 years, which will be equal to gross profit divided by sales revenue as a percentage. How much is the percentage? 8.2%, 9.7% and 9.5%. Am I right? So how do you get the average of the three? Either you can sum it up and divide by 3, or you can use the average function. So I take the average function here is equal to average of these 3. So my average of these 3 becomes 9.13%, which becomes my input for 17, 18, 19 and 20. So with this, I can clearly get my gross margin. So gross margin will be every year's revenue multiplied by GM percentage. Freeze this because this is a constant and then drag it. You will get the gross margins for all the years. Please check. 1054896028994 and 8706. So Siddhi, how will I get the cost of goods sold now? Now that I've got the now that I've got the gross margin. Sales minus your gross margin. So that will be more like a balancing figure, right? Sales minus the gross margin will be my cost of goods sold. So this becomes your cost of goods sold. Please check. Question में दिया है ना minimum of the historical prices. It's there in the question, no? Where? Here. So you take the gross profit margin for all the 3 years, which is your gross profit divided by sales revenue. Then you take the average of these three. Now this is the margin you have to use to forecast for the next 4. So every year's revenue into that gross margin, you will get the gross margin. Aishwarya, no? Got it? Cost of sales is just revenue minus gross margin. Gross margin. Online, people who are online, are you able to get what I said?
So can you explain the sales part again, please?
Sales part. What in the sales part you didn't get?
So we are multiplying
So you have
first
to
we are
multiply your metric tons with rupees per ton and then divide by 1000 because these are all in rupees thousands.
okay, so
Others online, are you? I hope you're following Harshita and Simar and Dharna and Ashika and all of you. Ayush.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Great, superb. Next is what? Next, let's go ahead on the case. Now, gross margin. You take every year's gross margin 14, 15, 16, which is gross profit divided by sales. For 14 also, 15 also, 16 also. Then take the average of these three. Look here. This is the average of these three. And that average you use to forecast for the next 4. So revenue of 2017 into GPM, revenue of 18 into GPM, revenue of 19 into GPM, revenue of 20 into GPM. That will be your gross margin for all these 4 years. But that GPM has to be constant, the forecasted 9.13%. Did you get what I said? Now do that. Hmm. No, predictive modeling is this only. You might have to make use of regression also in predictive modeling. That's the only difference. This is more like financial forecasting. Yeah. Predictive modeling is mainly for stocks and financial markets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. It's a part of it. Can we move ahead now? Okay. Now we proceed ahead. What's given in next point? So this is done. Point 3. Now point 4. Other operating income and other operating expenses will be calculated by using linear forecast on historical percentage of sales. So इसमें what we have to do is यहाँ पे for other operating income and other operating expenses, ये वाला, I have to first find out historical percentage of sales, right? Which is other operating income of 14 divided by sales of 14. And I have to do that for all the years, 14, 15, 16, and convert it into percentage. We'll have to be a little quick. I'll share the recording, so don't worry. So this way, what we have got is, we have got the historical percentage of sales for 14, 15, and 16. Right? Now we have to use, what is the question say? Linear forecast on historical percentages. So that means I have to prepare a linear forecast from 17 to 20. So is equal to trend. Again, known wise is your percentage of sales, comma, known axis is your timeline, comma, new axis is this. That's it. And you will get the percentage change figure, which is 2.03%. Am I right? All of you. So now again, I will use this percentage to get the other operating income for 2017 to 20. So take the total revenue of that year and multiply it with this number. And उसके बाद कुछ नहीं करना है, you just need to drag it. That's all. And you will get the other operating income for all the 4 years. 2344, 2134, 1999, and 1935. Clear? Yeah, okay. So the same way I need to adopt for other operating expenses, same concept, which will be other operating expenses divided by sales revenue for each of these years, percentage, apply the trend function, known wise, known axis, new axis. So this should be your percentage numbers, 0.63, 0.68, 0.75, and 0.8. ठीक है ना? Again, I'm going to apply these numbers here. So revenue of each year multiplied by these percentages. उसके बाद you don't need to do much, just drag it. That's it. So just check, you should get these numbers 722, 720, 733, and 767. So what I will do here, I will also tick this part. So that means this is also done. Okay, we will carry forward the remaining part of it in the post break session. So I am ending it here.